Hey everybody, how's it going? We're talking about fragrances that I bought that are now collecting dust in my collection. So these are all solid and I'm still going to be recommending them in my videos, but it's kind of like, when you buy a fragrance and you like it and then weeks later you try something very similar to the one that you bought, but you love it a billion times more. That's pretty much what happened here. These were just replaced by things that I much rather preferred. So the first one is 1899 Hemingway by Histoire de Parfums. I bought this from Histoire de Parfums' website for $90 for this 50 ml. I was very excited. Everything I'm going to show you I blind bought, and I know some people are going to be like, that's why I never blind buy. You should never blind buy. If I want to blind buy, I'm going to blind buy. For me, I don't mind taking that gamble. If you're more hesitant, then by all means, do what you want. But for me, I was just like, hell yeah, if I like it, then I already have a full-size bottle. I don't have to pay for a sample of it. And for the most part, it's worked out. But with this scent, it's very intimate. It's like a date night sort of fragrance. It's spicy and it's unique in comparison to a lot of the collection that I had around the time that I got this fragrance, right? But a couple months later, a follower of mine bought me Spice Bomb Extreme. And then I smelled this and I was like, holy shit. I find them to be very similar in terms of the way they smell, and even Rehab by Inicio. I did a versus video of Spice Bomb Extreme versus 1899 versus Rehab if you want to check that out. But this scent just had a hold on me the first time that I sprayed it, right? And then it lasted much longer. I will say this though, actually. This is a lot more rough around the edges. This is a smoother blend of a fragrance, but I kind of liked how rough this fragrance was because it was still welcoming. I find this thing still to be like charming and badass at the same time, and it has a great scent trail. I had great projection, great longevity, over 8 hours, no problem. But this one just really stayed closer to my scent bubble, and I had to overspray it if I wanted decent performance. But when I did overspray it, it was almost a little bit headache inducing because it's a spicy, heavier type of scent. So not really something I can overspray right now. At least for me, I know that I won't be able to tolerate it as much as I once did. But this one, an easy 5 sprays and I'm really good to go. So 1899 Hemingway has been beat out by Spice Bomb Extreme from Viktor and Rolf. The next fragrance I'm going to mention is First Instinct by Abercrombie & Fitch. I blind bought this off Abercrombie's website, or was it Abercrombie's? Yeah, I think I did get it. I got it online. I think it was from Abercrombie & Fitch. But this fragrance, I just remembered how Fierce smelled, and I wanted to get Fierce, but I think at the time it was like $100 something, and I'm like, man, I'm not gonna drop $100 on Fierce. And I was like, you know what, let's try this new one. And I was craving to smell Fierce, but I'm like, this one should do, right? And honestly, it's still solid. This is something that if you like honeydew, that sort of smell, and you want that fun, flirty, youthful type of cologne DNA, you're gonna get it with this fragrance. Performance, not the best. Honestly, it's like a 3 to 4 hour fragrance when it comes to performance. But I got this because I was trying to fill that void that I didn't have Fierce. But then still, I mean, you could see here that the bottle is pretty much full. I have used this. I liked it. Other people around me liked it. But then, like a couple weeks later, when my girlfriend came, like she already had a bottle of Fierce, and that's the reason why this is so low, because she would layer it with Japanese cherry blossom. I believe that was the name of the fragrance. But yeah, this thing, when I smelled it in the air again, I was like, oh, hell yeah. You know what I mean? So even though I think at that time Fierce was about up to here in the juice, you can easily tell like this much, I used like that much juice, and I clearly did not use that much juice from this one here. But yeah, this still reigns superior in my opinion. But because this is a $30 something fragrance, I will not deny that it's a nice pickup, especially if you're a teenager and like you only got $35 in your pocket. You won't be able to go wrong with this one if you live in warm weather. So Abercrombie and Fitch, First Instinct, it's great, but not as great as Fierce. Now, another one I'm going to mention is very popular, L'Homme Ideal EDP. I remember seeing reviews of this fragrance about how it's unique and it's super amazing, and I do agree with the first part. And the thing that drew me in was that you don't really see a lot of people talking about how a designer fragrance is unique, right? So I'm like, wait, if it's a designer, I already know that it's made to be mass appealing. And if it's unique, then it has both those qualities going for it. It's, you know, something not a lot of people are going to be wearing, but still has the mass appeal. But for me, to me, it's more unique than it is mass appealing, right? When I tried this fragrance on, I tried my best to really fall in love with it. And I do like it. I do like this scent, but it just doesn't take me there. You know what I mean? Like if you've ever been like cliff jumping, or like, you know, when you jump from like a waterfall, this to me is the equivalent of just like going to like the very edge, but not jumping off. You know what I mean? It doesn't have like that thrilling aspect to it. It's like, oh, it's unique. Like it smells good, but then it just kind of, like imagine going up to the climax, your climax, and then just like not releasing and just kind of like, it just kind of stops. You know, that to me is how L'Homme Ideal EDP is. However, if you love wearing this fragrance, rock the shit out of it. You know what I mean? Own it. But I remember when I got this, because it was, I believe it was already discontinued. I got this for like $85. And then when I found out that like, for the most part, when it was selling, it was around 50. I'm like, man, I almost felt like, well, I did almost spend double the amount of how much it originally cost. But yeah, I mean, if I got this for 50, then it probably wouldn't be on this list, because the performance is pretty solid with it. I mean, I get 6-7-ish hours when I wore this fragrance on skin and on clothes. But for the $85 that I got, I was like, oh man, you know, so yeah. I do like the cherry in this though. This is my favorite cherry fragrance, because all the other cherry ones that I've tried, very Robitussin-esque, very cough syrupy, very thick and dense, but I like how bright this one was. But all in all, I'm just not the biggest fan of cherry. However, another like positive I'll give this fragrance is that the versatility it has is amazing. All seasons it can be worn, and on top of that, it pulls based on the type of like environment you're in. Like if you wear this on a colder day, you're gonna get more of that leathery sort of vibe. If you wear this in the summertime, all I got was a bright, fun cherry, you know? So it knows how to adapt. It's a smart fragrance. You know, I like this one though, but just don't love it. L'Homme Ideal EDP by Guerlain. Next might be a controversial opinion. It probably will be, but Chanel Allure Homme Sport Extreme. Another versatile fragrance, right? But I did blind buy this one, and this is the one I regret, because it's just, it smells so much like dude, you know? And it's not, I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but this type of DNA is just something, first of all, attractive to the masculine nose. I know if guys smell this, guys are gonna be like, oh yeah, that rocks, you know what I mean? But then for me, having that feminine nose, even when I smell this in the air, like it's okay. It's, to me, this is like a solid 6 out of 10 sort of fragrance, but I think, like, I remember when I had guys smell this, like they loved it, you know, but like me and other girls that I have had smell this fragrance don't really give two shits about it in comparison to the guys. But yeah, it's just, there is mint, there's some orange in here, but it smells very like a gym rat fragrance, which that's not a bad thing. Okay, I know last time I said that, somebody got upset that I said gym rat in like a sad voice or whatever. But yeah, I just not taken with this scent. I much rather prefer, well, my favorite Chanel is Blanche, Edition Blanche, and you can wear that one to the gym. Like shit, you can be a gym rat in that fragrance and it's gonna smell super sexy. But this is just, I was just disappointed with this fragrance. And on top of that, the performance I got was like 4 to 5 hours. You know what I mean? And I believe I got this fragrance for $120, $135. This was one of the not one of the first fragrances I got, but this was last year, like early last year, when I was like trying to figure out, learning what I liked and what I didn't like. And immediately when I smelled this, I did like it, but it wasn't me. You know, you ever have that where you smell a fragrance and it's nice, but you're like, I don't know if it suits me. That's how I feel about Allure Homme Sport Extreme. The other ones I like much better. And lastly, hear me out, okay? Mercedes-Benz Club Black. I'm just going to reiterate that what I said in the beginning of this video. I don't regret buying this fragrance. It's just that I live in warm weather. So wearing fresh and clean scents are something that I can do. I could do that year round, but wearing sweet fragrances is something I can't do year round. Even sometimes at nighttime, it can be a bit warm and I wouldn't want to wear this fragrance. But all in all, it's a sweet vanilla benzoin scent. If you don't know what benzoin is, it's pretty much vanilla that can fight, you know? And for the price point of this fragrance and the longevity, super solid. I believe I got this for $65 on Mercedes-Benz's website. And it lasted on me around 7, definitely over 8 when I would spray it on clothes. But yeah, the thing is, when I think of my nighttime fragrances and my cold weather fragrances, those are things like, you know, Tobacco Vanille, Spice Bomb Extreme, where's Naxos? Naxos, even Side Effect, things like that. And those, to me, I would much rather reach for than Mercedes-Benz Club Black. But are you going to see this on my recommended list? Absolutely, because I know that it smells amazing, it's mass appealing, it's sweet, it's going to get the job done, it's going to last a long time, you're going to feel confident wearing it. Other people are going to like smelling it on you, you know? So it checks off all the boxes, but my heart just isn't in it with this one because other things have just taken that spot, you know? But there it is. 5 fragrances in my collection that are currently collecting dust. Love them, or some of them. Well, like them. I'm not going to say love. But yeah, with Club Black, I do plan to use that more when it gets a bit colder, but still, every single time I try to reach for it, sometimes I would even just like reach for pie instead because I'm like, oh, you know what? No, I want pie. So there it is. Anyways, have a good day and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.